Over the years, we've seen many takes on what a video game console is, and what exclusive means to said platform. And today I wanted to sit down to discuss the meaning of the term exclusive, just a little more and what that means in 2025. So, without further ado, let's break that all down. Up next. What's going on, guys? It's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. So we are in the year of 2025, and to give you a little context to my life and how my gaming life started, I should take you all the way back to 1996. And back then, Nintendo primarily ruled my life, seeing how that console, being the N64, had all of the latest and greatest titles and characters I wanted to interact with. Fast forward to 2025 and we've seen countless takes on the classic home console, handhelds, and even PC gaming is on the rise. And for most, that's what's at the top of the food chain. And PC gaming is the thing that I think blurred the lines as to what a video game console truly is. I mean, we got the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally, just to name two devices. Would you consider those to be video game consoles? On paper though, those aren't really classified as the typical video game console, or at the very least, the way we view them. Technically, they are portable PCs, and that's all with custom hardware that makes it feel and look like a video game console. Now, for example, the Steam Deck is a Linux-based system, which boots into SteamOS, so you start to see where the lines get blurred. And to bring in some rumors, we could be led to believe Microsoft is cooking up something similar, and that's all with Xbox OS and a potential Xbox handheld. Now, I bring this all up because that paradigm shift we've seen over recent years has seen the classic console gaming business become a tad bit stagnant. And again, PC gaming is on the rise. And I think that right there has become a big problem to the console gaming industry and to a lot of people behind the scenes. I say it's a problem. I game on my PC, but I'm going to explain. Console makers make these devices with an expectation of growth, and developers are encountering problems with ballooning budgets. I mean, yes, we can factor in inflation and all that, but games made in 2025 way outscore games made in 2020 or even 2015. Albeit here too, there's a lot to be said on how exactly studios spend this money, and if that money being spent is really going to anything of substance. But back to that term exclusivity. It's been a little bit of a talking point within the comments section, and that's the reason why developers like Square Enix are starting to abandon that archaic way of thinking. They learned the hard way when sales of Final Fantasy didn't really meet their sales expectations, and wouldn't you know it, they put the game on the PC, and boom, sales began to shoot up. That's because it was available to more people. I also don't think this is limited to Square Enix. I mean, we just talked about Xbox enough, but PlayStation themselves have even seen this method work with titles like Helldivers 2. Big companies are starting to slowly come to this realization that they can't simply ignore the PC platform any longer. And if they want to keep pace with their budgets, they gotta bite the bullet and put their games on the PC. And now I've seen the argument made in the comments that PlayStation is doing just fine with consoles, and they've been outselling Xbox, which, at the end of the day, that's a cold hard fact. But that doesn't entirely mean everything is all peachy. There's a point where this all takes a turn, especially when compared to the PS4 generation and how long game development is. This is why Sony isn't entirely satisfied where the PS5 is currently at. They built this business on growth from generation to generation. And keeping that in mind, that's not what we're seeing here. So the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over again with no change of results. This is exactly why I'm saying things will change in the console world as we once knew it. It will still be there. People are still gonna make consoles, Xbox is gonna still make consoles, PlayStation's gonna do the same thing, but the fundamentals we all grew up on, that's gonna be a thing of the past. Now, why'd I bring this all up today? I brought this up because a few words from fellow Jet fan Jason Schreier talked a bit more about this, and he brought this all up on Blue Sky, especially when talking about Final Fantasy. Quote, 2 takeaways here. 1, Steam has become a bright spot for many game makers, as console sales have flattened. 2, console exclusives will become obsolete soon, especially for third-party publishers. I don't know, I just kind of view this as developers finally realizing that they're cutting themselves off from a big flow of money. Xbox has slowly been doing this since 2017 by putting their titles on PC, and they're slowly pushing that goal further and further down the road to kind of get ahead of everything. Which, over recent weeks, that's the one thing they've been crucified for. But I do think PlayStation is slowly realizing this too, with games like Spider-Man 2 just being dropped on the PC recently. And I do think that flow of games over the next few years, that's only going to continue and potentially increase. I also want to make it known, I don't think later this year, PlayStation will be like, hey, all our games are out there and yeah, Kratos is on Xbox. I simply think that's too rash. But I do think it's entirely possible within the next, say, 2 to 3 years, we see that PC porting process increase, with tighter windows as far as exclusivity goes, and maybe even day-and-date releases. I also think a big thing that PlayStation and really Xbox need to address in the near future is how they're going to handle subscription services as well. I mean, it's going to be a tough sell for Xbox when all their games are on the PC and the PS5, especially if you're buying your games through Steam. So, I don't know, maybe it's just food for thought. But with all that being said, I'm going to pass it off to you guys. What do you think about all this? What do you think of exclusives? What do you think of the console business? But that about does it here. I've been K-Lo. I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video. And this has been the Level Up.